What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy Pee Wee the Plug, 1/4 through the wire, #1 Knicks fan in the world, aka Mr. Know-It-All. Welcome back to another episode of NBA Weekly, and we just wrapped up the last game one of the 2021 season. Shout out to the Suns, man. Shout out to the Suns. But I am, as you can see, trying to remind myself and tell myself these little things to start gearing up to that bittersweet part of the season, which is like now, where this is the last series. That was the last game one of the year before we hit that moment of the season ending. And I say bittersweet because the next step is obviously the offseason, where we get player movement and free agency, this new draft class, trades and new hirings for coaching. And then we're trying to all predict as the offseason goes who's going to be the two teams in this position next year, which is always fun. But yeah, the last game one of the 2021 season, the Suns pull away with a 13-point victory, 118-105. Very, very great start to the series for the Phoenix Suns, and specifically the three-headed monster that I like to call them when DeAndre Ayton is playing the way he's playing. 22-19. I mean, come on now. 22-19. 22-19 from the guy who's not even, we don't even talk about Ayton like that. You know what I mean? Like when we talk about the Suns and we talk about this season, it's predicated on Devin Booker and Chris Paul. They're two all-stars, even though Devin Booker made it because of injury. But we don't really, I'm just keeping, and I'm including myself, during this entire run, you know what I mean? I've shed some light on Ayton as things has progressed. I've called him the X Factor. You know what I mean? The most underrated player of the conference finals. I named him. But I'm even going to include myself, and I'm not going to pretend that I've been shouting out this Ayton. Ayton is the guy. But I mean, they are legitimately a three-headed monster. When you got Chris Paul and Devin Booker doing what they do, we all know what to expect from them. But then when you have this other guy, as how we kind of slightly refer to him, giving you 22-19, shooting 80% from the field. I mean, that's a legit big three-headed monster right there. So 22-19 from Ayton. Like I said, shot 80% from the field, 6 from 6 from the free throw line. Didn't miss a free throw, which is always beautiful for a big man. Played almost 40 minutes. And then under him, you got Devin Booker giving you 27 and 6. Devin Booker doing Devin Booker things. Struggled from the three-point line, 1 of 8. But again, 100% from the free throw line, 10 of 10, which is something we're going to talk about and what we're going to address. I got the numbers in front of me because this literally just happened and just ended. But off top, that's one thing I want to address with the Suns. They went 25 of 26, 96% from the free throw line, which is extremely, extremely important. They also allowed themselves to stay under double-digit turnovers at 9, right under 10, which is something I'm sure Coach Monty is in the locker room talking about right now, protecting the basketball. When you shoot above 95% from the free throw line, or just only miss one shot from the free throw line out of 26 attempts, when you have below 10 turnovers and then you force the other team to have above 10 turnovers, you're getting yourself a recipe to win. Those are really recipes to win. Jay Crowder, tough game, tough shoot night for Jay Crowder. But for them to still be able to pull this one out without relying on a Jay Crowder or some random breakout game says a lot for them. Which is why I think this is a great start for the series for the Suns. In the grand scheme of things, they did what they were supposed to do. They came out and they protected home court. But still, I think it's important that they get everyone that they can, and you want to start off as good as you can. And the reason I said it's good for Jay Crowder, even though he's not a guy that they're relying on, obviously, to score anything. But y'all know my saying. I always say if Jay Crowder is giving you 2 or 3 threes, the other team might as well just call it a night. You might as well call it a night. So for the Suns, they'd be able to pull this out without some heroic game from somebody that they weren't expecting it from. I mean, you got guys stepping up, but they did normal things that they normally do. Mikal Bridges knocked down a couple threes. Cam Payne had some moments where he made some plays off that bench. Same with Cam Johnson and his corner threes. We know what he likes to do. But other than that, I mean, it was that three-headed monster that's been doing it all playoffs for them. And then last but not least, we have to talk about Chris Paul setting the stage with an MVP Finals MVP type performance to set the tone with 32-9. He shot 12 of 19 from the field at 63%, 4 of 7 from 3, 57%, and he also didn't miss a free throw. The only guy that missed a free throw for them was Jay Crowder, who went 1 of 2. So that's the thing for me that stood out for the Suns is they played their style of basketball, but they played real comfortable. They never seemed rattled. It didn't even feel like that they were a young team. Like, we have to remember that the Suns are a pretty young team outside of Jay Crowder and Chris Paul. You know what I mean? This is Devin Booker's first playoff appearance. This is Aiden's first playoff appearance. Mikal Bridges' first playoff appearance. Cam Johnson, first playoff appearance. These are guys' first times being in the playoffs, and you wouldn't tell with how this team plays. And I just think they did a really good job with coming out, like I said, being comfortable, setting the tone, hitting first, and playing their style of basketball. I think Chris Paul did a good job keeping his imprint on the game all game long. This is what he does. Like it's gonna be incredible to see how this shakes out, because by no means is this series over. But it's gonna be super interesting to see how this series plays out, because I think Chris Paul is gonna do some special things throughout the course of the series. And then, like I said, Devin Booker, doing Devin Booker type things. Obviously, you don't want to see him shoot 12% from the 3-point line, but I doubt it happens again. He's had his nights throughout the playoffs where he struggled from the 3-point line, but the best thing about Devin Booker is he's going to stay aggressive. He's going to get to his spots and his shots. That mid-range shot is just something that he's going to get. And sometimes it don't matter how you play it or how contested it is. That's his sweet spot, and he's going to knock it down. Same thing with Chris Paul. And that's one thing I like about this team, the Suns team, is that they're well balanced. You know, they're a real balanced team, kind of like the Bucks. The Bucks are a balanced team as well. But I just love that they have that killer backcourt with two dogs with killer mentalities, and now you have Aiden being that third-headed monster to fulfill that paint area and to give you some performances where he can give you 22 and 19. I remember he had 18 and 19 or 18 and 22 game against the Clippers, and he had 4 blocks. Like, those type of performances are extremely big, and even their big three, so to speak, is kind of well balanced and spread across. That's the ideal way to have a big three, where you have a paint presence and you have a lead guard and then you have a scoring guard. And because Chris Paul is a lead guard, I don't want to diminish the fact that he can step out and have 32 points of his damn self. But you have a floor general, a scoring-minded 2-guard, and then you have a paint guy. And then the rest of the surrounding pieces are just the wings, who are switchable, gritty, physical, shot-making guys, which I think is just a very well-balanced team and way to play. And like I said, to limit those turnovers, knock down 95+% of your free throws, and then rebound the ball really well, and then cause the other team to turn the ball over more than you did and get into that double digits is the recipe. Not that the Bucks had 19 or 20 turnovers or anything. They only had 13, if I'm not mistaken. But like I said, for teams and for me, the turnover police is what I like to call myself. I always look for being below double digits and forcing the other team to be above double digits. And if we don't force them to be above double digits, we still want to beat them. We want the other team to have more turnovers than we have. And that's always important and crucial for me. Now, on the flip side, the Bucks, like I said, there's no reason to panic. The series is not over at all. The Suns did what they needed to do, which is win on a home court. I don't think the Bucks are too bad. But what I will say is they do look like a team that hasn't played with Giannis, right? How they played without Giannis, guys started to look a certain way. Now it's time to get reacclimated with having Giannis back out there. Giannis doesn't look bad at all as far as the knee, but he does look like, during certain stretches, just his aggression, which is, trying to take it lightly and different things like that, always a part of the game. But Giannis played a very good game. He had 20 and 17. He has some plays where that knee looked perfectly fine, where it was like, oh, Giannis' knee is okay. Giannis definitely has to step up at the free throw line. They only shot 56% from the free throw line, which is 40% less than what the Suns shot. They also only got there 16 times, which is 10 times less than the Suns got. But I had no problem with how Giannis played. I think the next game he'll play even better, be a lot more aggressive. 11 shot attempts for Giannis in the game 1 of the finals. just doesn't seem like normal Giannis, type of game. So I do think we'll at least see in the next game 15 plus shots from him. I think he needs to be aggressive and play that way. And then the main thing for me outside of Giannis, Chris Middleton played good. 5 of 12 from 3, over 40%. Didn't get to the free throw line, not once. And then 12 of 26. I like what from Middleton is the 26 shot attempts. I like Middleton being that aggressive. The way he's played the last 2 games in the last series, and even in some of the stretches in the net series, I like Chris Middleton having 26 shots. I think he needs to continue to insert himself. I definitely want to see him get to the free throw line more. 0 shot attempts at the free throw line for Chris Middleton is damn near unacceptable. Because he shoots it so well from them. This is a guy that flirts with 50, 40, 90 over the past 3 or 4 seasons, continuously. So we want Middleton to get to that line. We need him to get to that line actually. And it's only 3 guys got to the line this game for them, and it was Giannis with 12 attempts of himself. Jrue Holiday got there twice, which is 14, and then the last 2 came from Brook Lopez, and he missed both. So they have to do better as a team collectively, getting to the line and being aggressive and not settling so much from threes. Still shoot the 3 and take what's given to you, but you definitely want to be aggressive and make sure you get into that line, because that's what the Suns doing. The game is all about easy buckets. You want to get as many transition points. That's why stops and turnovers are important, because it allows you to get in transition. And then you want to get as many, layups and free throws. The easy ones have to be emphasized. You want to get the most easy basket. That's why you look at the greatest or top scorers in the league. A lot of them get to the free throw line a lot. They get a lot of layups. And then they'll get 6 to 8 points or plus in a half-court setting. But nobody is really getting you. No 30-point per game scorer is scoring all 30 points or majority of their points in the half-court. They're getting in transition, free throw line, and then they'll get some half-court shots. But the main thing for me, like I was saying, was Jrue Holiday. The Suns played with their 3-headed monster. You had Chris Paul having the headlining game. You had Devin Booker being Devin Booker, and then you had Aiden being monstrous, In order for them to compete, the Bucks, their 3-headed monster is going to have to be able to match that 3-headed monster just to compete. Because what the Bucks are doing, if Jrue Holiday is going to have a game where he's shooting less than 30% from the field and 0% from 3, and he only got to the free throw line twice himself, which is 1 trip, and then he had 3 turnovers, Middleton had 5 turnovers, they're then forcing their supporting role players to have to match Phoenix's 3-headed monster, which just isn't there. And then if Giannis, coming back from his knee, and he's like I said, I doubt Giannis is going to be shooting 11 shots throughout the course of the series, especially if he made more than half of them. I don't know why he didn't continue to shoot, and why they didn't play. It was certain stretches where it's like, why isn't Giannis just in the game? There's no reason that Giannis shouldn't be playing close to 40 minutes. He played downwards to 35 when Middleton and Jrue Holiday played basically 40 minutes. If he's either playing and he's healthy, or he's not, I don't understand. He's the best player on the team. He should be playing just as many minutes as the other 2. Whatever, though. That's a whole nother conversation. But Jrue Holiday, like I said, they're going to have to match. I'm not saying Jrue Holiday has to score every bucket, to match Chris Paul or Devin Booker or anything like that. But, 10 points is just not going to cut it. And I remember one time late in that game where they were making a comeback, he had a nice wide open look in that corner from Giannis, and he wasn't able to make it. I think that would have been I'm not saying the game would have changed. The result may have very well stayed the same. But those are the shots that they're going to need him to make if he's going to struggle. You know what I mean? Jrue Holiday has had these moments through the playoffs where his shot might not fall, and we know how good he is two-way, and he still has 7 rebounds and 9 assists and things like that. But it's sometimes timely shots. Just like I remember Trae Young against the Sixers. He struggled in one of those last games. It may have been Game 7, actually, in that series. Well, he struggled, but he stepped up and hit and made the big plays. And that's what they're going to need from Jrue Holiday. Like I said, I really like Middleton's aggression, shooting 26 times. I know Giannis is going to be more aggressive as the series continues, and I'm hoping that Jrue Holiday does match, more than 10 points. He's just going to have to come with some type of energy to make them have a big three. It should be big three versus big three, and then their role players should be trying to make up the difference and swing the game. You know what I mean? Like a Brent Forbes with the timely threes that he had, even though only two, he hit some big threes in that fourth quarter. That should be something that should be swinging the game for you. You know what I mean? You want to make this as even as you can, so then the Suns now have to rely on a Jay Crowder 2 to 3 threes. The Bucks would now have to. If I'm Phoenix, I want the Bucks to have to rely on a PJ Tucker 2 to 3 threes in a corner or something. You know what I mean? And the bench, for them to have played the way that they did without Giannis, Bobby Portis, and things, they didn't have the same type of impact. And I'll be honest with you, I don't understand the obsession with playing Connaughton 28 minutes. I don't understand it. And maybe Buck fans can tell me in the comments. I'm not going to pretend that I've watched every single Bucks game in the season, but I've watched them a lot in the playoffs like everybody else. And Connaughton, I get it. He can stretch the floor and different things, but 29, almost 30 minutes for Connaughton when Bobby Portis and Forbes are playing 12 and 14 minutes, it just doesn't seem right to me. That's my thing. That's my thing. But Budenholzer always has questionable rotations or whatnot. But yeah, they got to protect the ball themselves. 13 turnovers, like I said. Majority of them came really from the big three. Middleton had 5, and then Giannis and Drew Holiday combined for 6. So 11 of 13 turnovers came from them. Got to definitely shoot the ball better, Drew Holiday specifically, and they just have to find their groove. They have to find their groove, man. They have to find their groove. Some parts of the game really didn't feel like a Bucks game. Like I said, it just felt like a Phoenix Suns super momentum game. That's how home court should be for a team. So that's why if I'm the Bucks, I'm not panicking. If I'm a Bucks fan, I'm not panicking because the Suns went in there and they protected home court in game 1. Giannis fresh off the knee, wasn't even super sure if he was going to play. It led all the way up to his warm-ups. So now in game 2, what you hope is that Drew Holiday plays a little better. Doesn't have to play great, but just play better. You got to hope that you can start getting to the free throw line, put emphasis on getting to the line. You cannot be getting shot out the gym by 10 attempts. That's 5 more trips. The Suns cannot be getting to the free throw line 5 more times, and you protect the ball a little bit more better between the big three. And then Giannis has to be more aggressive, which he will be. Giannis will be more aggressive. I can almost guarantee that. And you got to even out that bench in those rotational minutes, man. I just don't think Connaughton should be your guy off the bench getting 30 minutes. I know they're a little limited with DiVincenzo being hurt, but I just don't. I don't think Pat Connaughton impacts the game that much more than some of the other options on the bench. Not saying he shouldn't play at all, but 30 minutes is a lot. But yeah, man. If I'm a Bucks fan, still got my head up. And I'm expecting Giannis to come out and at some point turn it up to be that 2-time MVP. It's the finals. And I think this could go a long way, man. I think this has 7-game potential in my opinion. The Suns did a good job protecting home court, using that momentum, using the crowd. Chris Paul coming out the gate, floor general wise. But I think that the Bucks can answer back. And if I'm the Suns, I want to make sure that I keep emphasizing limiting turnovers, forcing turnovers, getting to that free throw line, and knocking them down. If Phoenix missed as many as the Bucks missed, this game goes completely different. Or if the Bucks make as many as the Suns made, even if they don't shoot the same amount, but they missed 7 free throws. This is a totally different game if they would have made 5. If those free throws instead of just 9, if they made 5 more and went 14 to 16 from the free throw line or something like that, this game is totally different. Game was down the stretch. The Bucks were making the Suns answer them, and they were trying to put together a mini run. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot of different things from the Bucks. I do hope that we still continue to see Chris Middleton be aggressive shooting the ball wise, even with Giannis being more aggressive. I hope it doesn't hurt Middleton. But we do. My emphasis and my thing is Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday has to insert himself scoring wise. Again, we don't need a 30, 29-point performance, but he can't give us 10. He can't give us 10. He can't go 0 for 4 from 3 and then, get to the free throw line once. And Middleton, you have to get to the free throw line as well. But that was the last game one of the 2021 season. A good one. Shout out to Chris Paul. Early starting for Finals MVP. He's made an early case for it. Suns up 1-0. And I can't wait for game 2. But as always, I am your host of NBA Weekly, Pee Wee the Plug. 1/4 through the wire. I will see you guys for game 2. I'm out.